I'm Peg Breen from the New York Landmarks Conservancy. We're at Fort Greene Park in Brooklyn, site of a moving Revolutionary War memorial. It's another tourist in your own town excursion. Now surrounded by beautiful and bustling neighborhoods, these 30 acres pack a lot of history. They also contain the remains of some of the nearly 12,000 Americans captured by the British during the Revolutionary War, our country's first POWs. Many captives were taken during the Battle of Brooklyn, the first major battle of the war. The battle raged over a wide area, and the Americans were vastly outnumbered. The fort, which stood here, was abandoned. General George Washington and some of 9,000 of his troops fled to Manhattan. Despite this loss, of course, Washington went on to win the war. The British held captives from the battle on prison ships in nearby Wallabout Bay. Thousands more would eventually join them, including young boys, civilians, and enslaved and free African Americans. The conditions were overcrowded, filthy, and cruel. Prisoners from all 13 colonies perished on the ships from disease and malnutrition. Some 11,500 persons died on the ships, more than in all the other battles of the war. Most of them could have been saved and released by pledging allegiance to Britain, but few, if any, did. The British threw the bodies of the dead into the East River. As bodies and bones washed ashore, Brooklyn residents buried them in shallow graves where the Brooklyn Navy Yard stands. Eventually, the remains were entombed on a local farm. 30 years after the battle, celebrated poet Walt Whitman was editor of the Brooklyn Daily Eagle. Whitman began a campaign for a public park and proper crypt on the grounds of the old fort. Olmsted and Vaux, creators of Central and Prospect Parks, laid out the grounds in 1867. Remains were then moved to a vault here in 1873. Later, celebrated architect Stanford White designed a monument to honor the prisoners. President-elect William Howard Taft attended its dedication in 1908. It's officially the Prison Ship Martyrs Monument. The monument features a soaring 149-foot-high Doric column topped by an 8-ton, 20-foot bronze urn. It's one of the largest freestanding Doric columns in the world. The plaza surrounding it was designed with 4 bronze eagles that once topped the corner granite posts. The bronze pieces were designed by sculptor Adolf Weinman, best known for the statue of civic fame that sits atop the Municipal Building in Lower Manhattan. There's also a nature center at the park, containing more information about the war, artifacts, and history of the site. There's also a list containing names of people held on many of the ships. The Fort Greene Park Conservancy and urban park rangers staff the nature center and offer a variety of programs. This is Brooklyn's first park, named for Major General Nathaniel Greene, a trusted aide to Washington. Despite its importance, the park suffered a period of neglect and decline. The city finally restored the monument and plaza in 2006. The National Park Service is now reviewing a request to name the memorial a national monument. Area residents use Fort Greene Park for all kinds of activities, but it's also hallowed ground. The remains that rest here are a vivid reminder of New York's important role in America's fight for freedom.